and as a region, because here, Governor, it is a new day. And I am very proud to say that to you as I stand here with my partner for progress, County Judge Connie Scott.
Thank you. Thank you all. Yes, Governor, we can't decide what in the Coastal Bend we should be the most proud of. If it's the 10.6 million people, travelers that come to this county or from around the world and the country, or who come here annually to enjoy our beaches, our birds, or maybe it's our sport fishing.
Or is it our Texas A&M Corpus Christi men's basketball team winning the Southland Championship and dancing once again on the national stage at this year's March Madness tournament? Go Islanders!
All right, or maybe, Mayor, let's see. Don't forget our extraordinary attractions like the Texas State Aquarium, the USS Lexington, or the Padre Island National Seashore, where we are the envy of the country with our open beaches.
That's right. Corpus Christi now has a $1.4 billion budget, and we are the 8th largest city in Texas.
And in Nueces County, we are 350,000 people strong and almost 1,200 square miles.
We are very proud of our fine educational institutions in the Coastal Bend area, including Texas A&M Corpus Christi and Del Mar College, or Del Mar Community College. So they're working every day to educate and to train the workforce and the leaders of Texas' future.
Governor, you and I are old friends. I want you to know how excited I am about the remarkable future of our region. The mayor and I, we, your partners for progress, we support you in lowering taxes and lowering regulations. Our doors are open for business here. I'm very confident that together, under your leadership, we are unstoppable.
And without further ado, we are pleased to introduce you to the governor who has led our state through a period of unprecedented growth. Our state is home to the most Fortune 500 headquarters in the nation. We lead the nation in attracting job-creating capital investments and repeatedly leading all states for small business job growth.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in welcoming Greg Abbott, the governor of the great state of Texas.
Well, give it up for your county judge and for your mayor. They're doing a fabulous job for Corpus Christi and Nueces County. Thank you all for the very kind introduction. It is great to be back into Corpus Christi as well as the Nueces County area, especially to celebrate everything that we have to celebrate today. You know, you mentioned some of the, if you would, attractions to the region. All of which are extraordinarily valid. But candidly, you left off what may be one of my favorite ones, and that is, it's great to be back in the home of Whataburger. And perhaps a lesser known fact, and that is Corpus Christi is the home of the governor's chief of staff for the state of Texas. And you need to know how historic that is, because I thought that he was the first chief of staff for a governor ever in the history of Texas. Turned out I was wrong, because we learned that Sam Houston had a chief of staff from Corpus Christi also. So from the time of Sam Houston to the time of Greg Abbott, there's only been 2 chiefs of staff from Corpus Christi, Texas. Listen, I want to kind of follow up on a message that y'all were delivering, and that is this area is stronger through the combination, not just of Corpus Christi and Nueces County, but all of the many cities and counties around this entire area. I got to meet with some of the mayors, especially some that I worked with extensively during the time of Hurricane Harvey. others with whom I've worked on economic development projects. But the fact of the matter is, this region, as well as any region in the state of Texas, is far more successful when you collaborate together. I'm going to give you a very quick and easy metaphor to understand this. I'm sure that many of you have been in a canoe, a kayak, or a boat where you've been able to row it yourself. And imagine how you're doing. You got to paddle on one side and then paddle on the other side. You kind of get some momentum, but not going really fast. Then imagine, if you would, one of those competitive rowing boats where you have, I don't know how many people, like 10 or 12 people in there, each of them rowing powerfully on each side, but also going far faster than you could ever go, rowing by yourself, but also going in one direction as opposed to tacking which way or the other, depending upon which way you're rowing if you're by yourself. The competitive rowers are rowing a straight line. Same thing happens with economic development. If you go it alone, you'll succeed to some extent, but you will not get nearly as far as you do when you have a lot of people in the boat rowing together, rowing in the same direction at a swifter pace with a singular goal to expand economic development in the region. We've seen this work incredibly powerfully in other regions of the state of Texas. The greater Austin region, the greater San Antonio region, the greater Dallas region. You know, so many of the projects going into Dallas are actually not going into Dallas. They're going into Frisco or Irving or Mesquite or places around it. But what Dallas and the entire region understands, and that is when a new business comes to that location, it's going to be beneficial to the economy of the entire region. Everybody is going to benefit. And so just as we had a steel plant, Steel Dynamics, open up in Sinton, not in Corpus, it's going to benefit the Corpus area. And it will attract even more businesses to come here and expand here. And so every business that comes here, every business that grows here is a door opening to additional businesses coming this direction. So bottom line, to circle back to my point, and that is I applaud your efforts to work collaboratively and everybody in this room, because when you do so, you will power this region to even higher success. Now, also I want you to know that I'm proud of a new home that's already begun, is not yet up, fully built yet, but ground is breaking in western Nueces County for the home of a new lithium refinery by Tesla. This is extraordinarily important and will redound to your benefit in countless ways. First, it's important that you know facilities like this lithium refinery is a core component to our state strategy for the state of Texas to be more self-reliant. We want to be able to grow our own food, make our own products, not be dependent on hostile nations for our most demanding needs. Lithium is a product that we use every day. In fact, I'll submit to you that I bet at least 99% of the people in the room have lithium in your hand or on your table, or in your pocket. I'm getting a bunch of nods, you know what I'm talking about. Lithium's in your cell phones. And if you're the one person in the room that does not have a cell phone, you may not have any lithium on you right now. But the fact of the matter is, most of the lithium that's used, it could be in batteries for EVs, or it could be in batteries for cell phones, or countless other ways. Most of it comes from China. Hostilities are growing with China. Who knows what will become of that? What I do know is this: if China ever decides to cut off or hinder or slow down the United States' access to lithium, or if they double the price of our access to lithium, it will cause a cataclysmic problem with our ability to function the way that we're functioning right now. That's why part of our strategy is for the state of Texas to be involved in producing more lithium, refining more lithium, so that we will be the source point of the lithium that we need and that our businesses need to keep Texas flourishing. And there's another benefit about this Tesla facility here. A Tesla lithium refinery not only provides us with our essential needs, it plants the flag of one of the biggest brands in the entire world right here in Nueces County. What businesses do when they see a business like Tesla coming to Nueces County, they see that, listen, this must be a good place to come to. It's like an early pioneer who succeeded. And that early pioneer who succeeded is doing great and has opened the door to other pioneers coming here and planting their flag in the greater Nueces County region. So this is a tremendous asset for you all to be able to capitalize on for your future success. Other businesses will follow the lead of Tesla. Now, an important point is that success like this, it doesn't just happen. It's the product of tireless work. And because of your efforts, Corpus Christi and Nueces County are having a huge economic success. You're now part of the success that's also connected to the port. The Port of Corpus Christi is America's largest energy export gateway. Now, you all know that Texas is the energy capital of the world. So much so, I'm sure no one in this room follows me on Twitter. But if you did, I had some fun yesterday because if anybody knows what happened yesterday, it was something enormous to world trade and world economy. What happened yesterday is that OPEC announced that they were cutting oil production by 1 million barrels a day. And so I responded the way a typical Texas governor would respond. And that is, Texas is now considering increasing oil production by 1 billion barrels a day. But here's the deal. You help Texas fulfill our role as the energy capital of the world through the port. Your port is #1 in the United States for exporting crude oil. And the almost 100,000 jobs in this entire area comes from that port, and they provide a good living for families across this entire region. Well, add all this stuff up, and you see that Corpus Christi, Nueces County, and really the entire region, you are a tremendous part of the Texas economic juggernaut. Texas has unequivocally the #1 economy in the United States. Last week, gross domestic product results came out for the states of the United States. And it showed that, once again, Texas ranked #1 as having the fastest growing economy in the entire country. We're growing more than twice as fast as the United States. Our gross domestic product is growing at a 7% rate, which is a blistering rate. And then when you couple that with the fact that also last year, Texas added far more new jobs than any other state in America. So Texas is #1 in America for jobs, #1 for the economy. Texas is the dreamland for entrepreneurs who want to come here and succeed here because we have the platform to help businesses grow and succeed. But get this staggering number that you are a part of. And population-wise, Texas is less than 10% of the country. But if you look at the number of new jobs added since COVID occurred in March of 2020, Texas is responsible for 35% of the new jobs in the past 3 years. No state is close to the impact that Texas is having on the United States economy. So on top of all of that, Texas has been ranked as the #1 state in America for business as ranked by CEOs. We've been #1 in the United States for exports for 21 years in a row. And obviously, you can tell just by looking out the window, Corpus Christi and the entire region plays an extraordinarily important part in helping Texas have that lofty #1 ranking. This past year, Texas became home to more Fortune 500 company headquarters than any other state in America. It's the first time any state other than New York or California held that role. After we gained the lead, we then had more Fortune 500 company headquarters come to the state of Texas. I think it is a lead that Texas will never relinquish. Texas growth has now put us in a situation where our annual economy exceeds $2.3 trillion, which places us at either the 9th largest or the 8th largest economy in the entire world when you look at countries across the globe. And last month, I received, once again, the Governor's Cup. The Governor's Cup goes to the governor of the state that ranks #1 for the most new economic development projects that lead to job creation. We have won that cup for 11 years in a row now, and I know that those in this room today, the economic development professionals, the chambers of commerce, those who are in leadership positions in your counties, you played a meaningful role in helping Texas win that award and for me to receive the Governor's Cup. So I say thank you, all of the economic development professionals in this room, for what you have done to make Texas one for winning the Governor's Cup. So I'm guessing, just a wild guess, that there may be some college football fans in the room. Maybe not. How about hockey? No, here's a point that just, if you have followed college football at all, you know who Nick Saban is. Getting some yeah. So interestingly, when I bring this name up, people don't say yeah. People start hissing for whatever reason. I think I did hear a couple of hissers, and those are Aggies. Right? But here's the point. So Nick Saban is the winningest coach as far as national championships in college football history. Nick Saban has won 7 national championships. Well, I got news for Nick Saban. As your governor, I have won 8 national championships for economic development. I get a ring on 8 fingers. And we have a quarterback to our team. It's a woman many of you here know, and that is the head of economic development in the governor's office, and that's Adriana Cruz, who's with us here today. Adriana. So the economy is doing great in Texas, as I outlined, but maybe just as important as that, it's doing great for all Texans. When I talk about Fortune 500 companies,